Hello, hello, am I live? Is this working? It's been a while since we streamed, so hello, let me know if things are too loud or too quiet. So how is everyone doing today? Where is everyone from? My name is Jessica. I am the environment artist on the team. Today, we'll be working on Zenith a little bit. As the description says, we'll be doing some level design. Right here, you see the mountain scene. So in the background, you kind of see the building, the facade building that we showed in the announcement video. So this is where it lives. So hi from UK, Denmark, Florida. Nice to meet you too, Viper, Casanova. A lot of EU people. We're glad to have you. So the game plan for today is, like I said, set dressing. We are using Unity as our game engine, so you'll kind of see behind the scenes how we flesh out the world. I'll show you guys a block out, so you'll see like how we start with the level design process, how we think about gameplay, and just how we, bring the world to life. So if I get out of here, so we are inside of Unity right now. I'm going to focus on this little corner right here, but this is the little town area. There's this nice part right here which is blocked off because it's super secret, but this is just one tiny piece of like an entire zone, and then from there we'll just be working on this little area for maybe the next hour or two. We'll see how far we go. Okay, so right here you see the level with the assets, but let me show you what it would look like in just block out form. So this is kind of what the level looks like when we first start planning on like what do we want the space to look like, how big do we want it to be. Everything's gray cubes, it's pretty bland, it's pretty boring, but it will let us sort of try it out in VR first to see how it feels. And then from here I go back into the town. You'll see sort of how the blockout was transformed into the play space. So instead of cubes, I'll be like, okay, that gray cube was supposed to be a building, let me put a building there. These were stairs, so let me replace it with actual stairs. And we still have a beautiful gray cube up there hiding all the good stuff. So if you stay tuned, maybe you'll see what's behind the cube in the next few weeks. Yes, cubes. Okay, so yeah, let's just get started here. So if I'm looking at this scene, we're in a little town area. What's in a little town typically are like vendor stalls, things to buy, little props here and there. I want to fill out sort of these empty spaces right here, but I still want to keep the path open, right? Since this is where players will be traversing. So in our game, we already have some vendor stalls made, so if I just search for it, I should be able to find it. Vendor small shelf. Okay. Vendors. Okay. So here are some old vendors that we have already in the city of Zenith. If you guys have played, you might recognize these already. So if I drag these into the scene, put them where I want them, maybe one here, up against the corner, put this against the wall, maybe another guy here. But I want a different little shelf configuration. Let's let's do this guy. Everyone is hooked on cubes. There must be a cube Easter egg in the map now. Maybe you'll find a floating cube somewhere. We'll see. Instead of conspiracy gnomes, we can have conspiracy cubes. So I'm going to turn off lighting for now so I can make sure everything's snapped to where it should be. Hello, Skitly. I'm glad you can make it. Yeah, it's been a while since all of us have streamed, so you'll be seeing more of us in the future. So right now I'm just going to organize my hierarchy, so you know, if I want to grab all of the vendors, I could just grab all of them and disable them, do whatever. Okay, so I think someone asked, how are vendors going to work? So, you know, these are just simple like prop stalls, but you know, inside we'll have like an NPC or someone, you know, acting as the merchant. So this is just like the art for it, and then the actual like vendor mechanism might be a little bit different. People are asking what engine is it, so I'm using Unity, as you can see up here. Okay, so I normally start big props to smaller props, so now the space is kind of filled, so I'm gonna find some other stuff to put like in these other empty areas. Okay. So in the zone, we have some other props that are unique to the mountain region. You know, as mountain folk hunt and, you know, gather their food or maybe hunt creatures. They might have things like little pelts, so I'm going to put little pelt stands around. You know, unlike Zenith in the city, this town is a little more rustic, you know, mountain folky, but still kind of, you know, techy, because this is still, you know, a cyberpunk world. So we still have tech elements here and there, but primarily these guys will be a little bit more of the mountains. Okay, we put another guy here. These guys are not floating, I think. Yeah, it should be good. Okay, let's see what else we can throw in here. Okay, so these guys are little crates. Right now they're really like blue and emissive, but once we put some post-processing on them, you know, I think they'll bloom out and they'll look pretty cool. So we'll grab some of those. Okay. I'm just gonna start pulling out props that I know that I want to use. Mushrooms. This guy looks cool. So this is more of the hunting set, where you can see like bones and chicken and like little pelts and little tusks from other creatures. Yes, we've evolved from normal cube to to glowing cube. The level's progressing really well. I'm gonna drag in some of these barrels. Good old barrels. We have some clay pots that I can start dragging in as well. Okay, so I'm going to put these into their own little house here. Then I'm just gonna move. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, these here. Put this into, let's call these pelts. Okay, so I'm just gonna move these here, and then I'll pull from them as I want them. Let's toss a little blade master in for scale as well, so you can make sure everything's, you know, scale to player height. Right, have our little vendor merchant, a little one right there. I'll put another one in here. How long do I think the stream will last from Jonathan? Probably, you know, an hour or two. We'll see how far we get, but no more than 2 hours. I do have to go back to work. Okay, I'll do a little baby one here. She's a little bit shorter than the rest of them, and that's okay, because me too. Okay, let's face this one the other way. Have our little scale references here. Yes, although this is my work, I have other cool zones of Zenith to develop, so this is just one, you know, one of many. Okay, let's see, what do we want to grab from the pile? Let's grab crate cube and glowing cube, and long cube, or, you know, this rectangular crate. Let's see what we want to do with these guys. Maybe not this one. We need more glowing cube, less normal cubes. Sure this guy isn't floating or clipping too much into the ground. Imagine a Zenith world where everybody is constantly T-posing. If you're looking for a guild idea, I think I think T-posing guild should be one, and then you guys can fight a posing guild, and it'll be the great pose wars of Zenith. Okay, some of those. Let's break it up with some cylinders. We got all of the shapes here. Here. Stack the cubes to look like the merchant's storage. Yeah, what a great idea. Maybe I'll do that on like the side of one of these guys, so like back here we kind of have this void to fill. So yeah, let me just start putting some cubes down there. I think a long cube would be a really good base. Long cube, big long cube. Grab these. put some blocking geometry here so nobody can sort of like get through there and get stuck or anything like that. Small cube. Let's make this small. She said cubers. Oh man, what have I started? Man, wait till we get to circles and spheres. Then all bets are off. Okay. That like this. Glowing cubes. Glowing here. This guy's clipping, so I'm just gonna move that a little bit. Let's put it like here. This needs something up here. Maybe a cube. Maybe no. It's okay. Let's find something else to put there. Guys, that area back there was my idea. Yes. You know, shout out to that little corner. Shout out to that little corner, man. Okay. Let's switch it up, put maybe some pottery. These guys I can scale up to be pretty big. So let's see how big that actually is compared to a blade mat. Well, that's the baby one, so a normal blade mat. So this is, you know, we could do this, but it might be a little, a little too big. So let's pretend like they're ornate vases and put them sort of waist high, maybe a little bit more. Let me turn off lighting for now so we can actually see a little bit better. That one, I don't know if I like the one with the red. Let me try this one with the triangles. Get some color in here, but you know, like not too much color. T-post thrashers. Oh man, that's good. That's gonna be really hard to beat. Cube Clan. Yeah, I don't know if I were to join a guild. It's gonna come down to the name more than anything. I think the red stripes in the zone might be a little bit too much, so I'm gonna maybe swap that out for something a little less intense. Let's see. So I do like this shape, but I think I'll go with maybe like this one, which is a little more subtle. I think the red kind of competes with all the blue going on in the zone, and so we'll just swap it out for a little plain one. Maybe you'll see the other ones in like a different zone. Okay, put the little pot on here. Area needs a little bit more work, I think. Maybe V-Ricken or VR Icon. Let me know how you see that. Suggest maybe put mini pots on the shelves of the stores and stuff. Totally will do. I think I just want to fill out the space a little bit more before I start doing that. I typically like to work from like bigger details to smaller details. Otherwise I'll totally get like consumed by putting little pots and little shelves, and you might not necessarily see all of those details. And we have this guy too. I think this guy needs a texture, but that's okay. The shape is pretty cool. Maybe if I put something on top of that barrel, it'll look a little bit more balanced. So the new thing shown in the announcement I've seen around, like next to the box corner. What are they exactly? Like these guys or something else? Let me know if it's these. These are, you know, fake building entrances that, you know, eventually we might open up and then show you an interior. But right now it's on, you know, right now it's just a fake building. If you're talking about something else, let me know. Let's go here for now. Yeah, these are the buildings you saw in the announcement. We have this one, saving, hold on. And then we have like another one you'll see around the corner. So these kind of scatter around the mountain zone. Alright, this area has some stuff in here. Looks pretty good. Maybe I'll just go hard on the cubes here. We have these more sci-fi crates as well, so maybe I will stuff those in the corner as well as filler. Ben asks, Jessica, what are your computer specs? What are you currently developing this on? I'm running on a desktop PC. I believe I have like a Intel i5 CPU, and for graphics I have a 1070 Ti, or just 1070. It's been a while since I checked. My computer is up for you know, a little bit of a facelift. She's running a little old, but you know, it's honestly good enough. Somebody asked, is there an upper area in the city relative to the mountains in the background? It seems higher up. Yeah, so I removed the rest of the map so you guys can't see it, but like this, you know, the city itself rests pretty high up. So like back here you'll see more mountains, more stuff, and the city itself is almost like the highest elevation in the zone. So you'll definitely ascend up towards the mountain, and you know, that way you have the sense of scale of going up towards something. Skitley asked, do you guys have a lore explanation for the reason every stall looks the same? Yeah, I think for now, like right now, I'm just placing what we have. Later on, we'll probably go through and do something to make it, you know, we might go ahead and make it more unique to the mountain area. Maybe give it a different color, a different rooftop, maybe add some stuff on here. Like if this was a food stall, I would probably go through and add a bunch of like vegetables on here as a sign. But another zone we're working on does have different vendor stalls. I think typically we kind of want to keep them a little bit more recognizable, so as you run through the city, you're like, oh, okay, I know that that is a vendor stall, and I know I can go buy, you know, gear there. That way you're not sort of wandering around lost in a new city, so to speak. Wait, she's using Internet Explorer. Yeah, I'm using Internet Explorer to stream. That way I can keep the Zenith account on there and not accidentally, you know, use it when I'm using like Chrome or Firefox for, you know, other use. So do not, thank you for calling me out on that. Please, no hate. I'm just using it for the stream. Nice Hawkeyes there. Somebody asks, how do you factor in the view for someone who's flying, if that's in the game? Flying is not really confirmed at the moment, so if it is, you know, right now I'm working on the assumption that you're in the ground, walking like a normal human, and maybe teleporting, but you know, if we're doing an aerial shot, you know, you can definitely see like, I don't have anything here because I don't need anything here. But if you were able to fly, I would, you know, obviously fill this in with other things. Just go back and do a pass, because at the ground level, you're not going to really see that there's nothing back here. But obviously, if you're flying, you're going to be like, nice, there's there's nothing back there. Oh, don't apologize for calling me out. It's just like the hate for Internet Explorer also runs through me, so don't worry. Okay, back to is Mike Games. Is all that background explorable? So like through this doorway, there's an entire map of stuff. Right now, if you go through this cave area, it'll shoot you out to this area, which has more stuff. And then if you go this way, through this doorway, there's also like a lot more stuff. So you can't necessarily navigate behind these buildings at the moment. Like I said, if we do something like an interior space, you know, we might teleport you to the inside of the house or inside of the room or something like that. But like technically behind these particular buildings, they're not really explorable. But I think we make up for it in having like a bunch of other areas in the zone where you can actually do things. Since this is a town, and you know, there's typically not too much stuff to do in a town besides, you know, vendor stalls, you know, socializing, and then up here, super secret, cool stuff that you can do in this town. Fanstar0 asks, is this a new city hub or a redesign? So this is a completely new town. Each zone usually might have something akin to a town. For the mountain in particular, right? We have a town, and then we have a bunch of different, you know, grinding areas or areas for killing enemies or doing quests. So it makes sense for us to have this hub where, you know, humans are and do human city things. Will the town have quest givers? Yeah, I think this place would definitely have quest givers. Is city the spawn area? So this city isn't necessarily like the first spawn area, but there might be something like a teleporting crystal or a place for you to, you know, spawn if you die. So, you know, there will be a spawn area, but this isn't like the spawn area. That would probably be like Zenith, the city. Teleport will be a thing for locomotion. We do have smoothing and the you know, traditional like teleporting for VR. Skitley says, I feel like you can see the dead space just by looking at it from the right angle. I'd say just wall it off with mountains. Yeah, like I said, this whole area, there's like whole gameplay map over here that fills it out. I just isolated the town, so I don't give any I don't give any spoilers. A lot of people are asking about release dates and some other questions. If you guys are on the Discord, you know, we'll have all that info on there, so feel free to take a look at any pinned messages or any like daily AMA questions and answers, or the announcements, or if you're still unsure, our mods are awesome and will answer any question you have. Same with anyone in the chat, really. You guys have been great at helping each other out, so if anyone's super new here, you know, just feel free to ask in the Discord. That should be linked in the description below. Somebody asks if I have any thoughts on the confirmed Oculus Quest 2. Personally, you know, I think it's great that we're seeing a second Oculus Quest. I really like the first one. You know, that just means that there's enough popularity and demand for there to be a second one, right? Like, did we see a second Daydream? No, no, we did not. So it's great that we're seeing a second quest being developed. Okay, I'm just gonna go through and put some stuff around while I answer any other questions. Sci-fi truck, Zenith cars, you know, there might be some vehicles here and there, but can you necessarily drive the vehicles? No, I don't think that's really a mechanic that we are exploring at the moment, but that doesn't mean that it's not a mechanic we'll never do in the future. When will the monthly video come out? You know, there's still time in the month, so you know, give it some time and, you know, it'll happen sooner rather than later. I do believe there is one coming out for August. And then if you haven't seen the monthly video updates, I believe I also linked that in the description below, so you can see the one for July. And right now we are in August. Yeah. So I'm gonna hang these guys up here. If you are familiar with the City of Zenith, the City of Zenith has little lanterns hanging on here, more sci-fi stuff. So for this zone, I think it'd be cool to really lean into the mountainous region and focus on the things that they would sell for the inside of these stalls. How do I want to do this? Okay, I want to put this here, maybe lean it a little bit. Somebody asked, Gun Forever, will there be secret places hidden in the open world for us to explore? Secret places in open world makes it sound less hidden, but yeah, there will be little places off the beaten path for you to find and you know, hang out in or maybe get some loot. We already have a couple in the game that look really cool, so I'm pretty excited for you guys to see those. Names are hard asks, can we see the city? I mean, all the cool stuff for this city, the mountain town, is sort of hidden behind this wall at this moment, so we're just going to focus on this little area to give you a little sneak peek, and then later, you know, we might have a grand reveal once everything is done. Back to that cube life. We have some other cool props that I just remembered. Could be putting in here. Reading the chat for a second. Yeah, cubes, always hiding the cool stuff. I wish I had time. I really wanted to make like a big question mark on the cube, but you know, other priorities, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, I could keep scattering some cubes around, some other things. Let me see what else I have. These guys will be little light sources. I might hold off on putting these until I know where I want them exactly. So let's just delete that for now. I have a little flag. Maybe I can steal it and put it on top of the vendor stalls. Get some ideas going for how we can make these look a little bit different. I think that's a little it's a little tall. So I want this to be taller, but I don't want to necessarily shove it too much into the stall to where you can sort of see it through the bottom. So I think that's good for now, and then later, you know, I can go back, or someone on the team can go back and just sort of clip off the flag so I don't have to do like some wonky scaling thing. But for now, this should be fine. Maybe rotate this just a little bit. Somebody is asking about a ranking system. That would be, oh my god, please stop spamming. But, you know, I would say in terms of questions that are related to like gameplay, we are doing the daily AMAs and we are answering those with all of your questions. So I would say feel free to, you could keep asking that on the daily AMA would be the appropriate place for that. Use Unity's particle system. I will definitely be getting to that a little bit later today. I think I'm just going to go through and start populating the stalls just a little bit, and then we'll move on to some other things like getting some particles in. These are like little lights, so it might be cool to have some particles going through. And then we might be doing some post-process effects in here, so you can kind of see our process for that, since we haven't covered that at all, I don't think. Okay, so these stalls, what should they sell? I'm gonna grab a different mushroom. I think I'm gonna put maybe some mushrooms in the stalls, since these are in the level, and it might be cool to be like, hey, I've seen that around there, so I guess these stalls, might be gathering them or something like that. Had a different one. So I'm gonna grab one of these mushrooms from here, in here. Maybe I'll put them in this little vase. So let's see. Will any of these items, like the cubes, be removed in the quest version? Most likely not. I don't see why we would have to remove them. If I had like a trillion cubes everywhere and we made a cube world, we might have to remove some of them. But I think most things will stay pretty close to where they are in terms of like if they exist or not for the quest and not quest versions of the game. Yeah. Are you aiming to fill the world with a lot of landmarks like Fallout 4 or plainy like Death Stranding? It might be a mix of the two. There might be areas that make sense for it to be a little more plainy and just focus on natural landscape or other more natural landmarks. But most of the world so far does have, something of interest that is unique to that area that would make it instantly recognizable. Right, little mushroom base is done. I think I already started on this one a little bit, so I'm just gonna, maybe this is the pottery. This is the pottery vendor. Very important stuff. People are asking about races and classes. I think those things were already answered in Discord, so I feel like if you guys check it out, you'll find your answers there. What else can I put in here? someone is asking about textures are final, or will the game textures be high res at launch? Right now this is where they're at. We might upscale them or compress them more depending on the platform. We're working in a way that's pretty flexible for us to scale and rescale items, so we'll see. There's definitely room for polish, but a lot of it will depend on how it runs on the device. I'm sure you guys have seen like MMOs where things might be a little more pixelated just because there's so many things trying to be rendered on the screen at the same time. So, nobody necessarily wants that, but also nobody wants to we can't really make everything 4K and 8K textures like you would see on a desktop game. But as an artist, that would be fantastic if we could do that. We all love those mega textures, man. They look so good. Alright, okay, so this was a pottery. This is a pottery and cube vendor. So these little cubes are actually like little cages or hunting traps for other wildlife, or maybe for storage. So I think it would make sense that the vendor might sell these. Maybe it's a cage for ants. I don't know why it's so small, but I do like it for now, until we do have other in-game items to populate in here. I think it just looks cool and glowy, so we'll run with it for now. Yeah, let's see what else, what other stuff I can put in here. I think if I were to say this is a baseline of a good stopping point for here, I think we could definitely fill out the space a little bit more, but I also don't want to neglect the other stand. So I will see, what can I put in here? Maybe I'll grab another, just one other vase. I think I have some other pottery objects to put in here. Where to put this guy? Will this be a graphics card fryer? Mine, I have a pretty old graphics card and it's still going strong after, playtesting the game every week, every 2 weeks, so I think you'll be fine. My computer's been fine. I've definitely played other games that are, that make my computer fans spin way hotter, so I think you'll be good. So if I'm making a little mini lore in my head that is not confirmed for these stands, but just sort of when you're set dressing and designing stuff, you usually want to have a little bit of a backstory, at least in your head, on what things are. So if this is the cube and, vases vendor, maybe this would lean more into, talismans, other maybe materials, maybe edible materials. So maybe this would be a little herbalism vendor stall where I would put, potions or bottles or other things of that nature here, and maybe you could also consume consume that stuff. Maybe, so I'm just gonna run with it for now, and we shall see. Okay. I think this is where I could start putting the more ornate stuff on the shelves. I think that'll fit in really well. Grab these guys. Scale them down. Put them on the shelf. See if I have a different shelf that might have larger real estate. Maybe I'll put a counter down instead so I can put the larger pots on there. The mini stuff is really cute, but it does get a little a little repetitive, I think, if I made everything miniature. So if I want to fill, excuse me, okay, so I want to fill some of these jars with stuff, so maybe I can find some flowers or something to put in there. This area is a little dark. Maybe I'll start doing the post-process a little bit. We can see how we can boost up the area so you can see a little bit better. Look a little wonk there, a little wonky. Let's find some things to put in. Okay. Maybe I'll make a little vase of flowers. Okay, I think that gets the idea down for that little vase. Let's see if there's any other stuff we can just sort of toss in for now. I think that's fine. Okay. Maybe we'll do like an individual mushroom, or like a mushroom in a cup, maybe in a bowl. I think that would make sense. right? So if I'm gonna take a step back from literally working in like a little bowl of mushrooms, I need to take a little bit of a step back and see, you know, what else I could do, how else I can fill the space, what do I want to do, should there be more cubes somewhere? Maybe here is a good contender for some more props. Maybe put this on the other side as well. Maybe put one over here. Let's see what that looks like. I think something like that could work. Instead of a shop sign, it's a little leather pelt instead. That could be cool. Okay. Somebody asking, is this the main hub? This is not the main hub, but this is the main hub for the, I'd say like, you know, one of the main hub areas for the mountain area specifically. It is a town, and towns typically tend to be hubs. So have little market vendors, and then, you know, up here will be super secret cool things that you would typically see in a hub. So hopefully that answers your question on that a little bit. Okay, I think that's a good first pass on some of the props in here. I'm gonna go ahead and probably jump into some post-processing, and then after that, if there's time, maybe just put a few VFX here and there. My hierarchy has gone a little whack, so I'm just gonna go through and organize that really fast. Okay, so lighting. In here I have my box volume for me to make a new post-process profile. So let's do that once Unity stops freaking out. So let's add some bloom, you know, the thing everybody knows and loves. I think it'll help make these and these and these little glowing bits stand out and, you know, look a little less flat. So this is bloom. I'm sure everybody knows what bloom is, but, you know, it makes a nice little radial blurry glow around everything. So I normally set this to like here. Let me see. I think that's an okay amount of bloom. Nothing looks too blown out, too crazy. I think in this building, those glowing bits are also supposed to be blue, so let me adjust the color on those as well. So like if we wanted them to be yellow or like pink or whatever color, everything's set up to be pretty easily modified. So if we go back and maybe you'll see these in a different zone, they might be a different color in a different mountain region. Okay, back to our box volume, which is another iteration of a cube, I suppose. There's other things we can mess around like with the tint of the bloom itself. For our purposes, I think leaving them as white is a safe bet, since it will also impact other things like the bloom on the sky. If you bring it up, you'll see everything gets bloomed out, so it's not just the blue bits. So I think it makes sense to leave it on a neutral color like white. I think Jordan in here, aka Circuit Lord, is in chat answering questions. So if you guys have any, just feel free to post them in there as well. We'll answer if we can. But also, a lot of these questions are answered on Discord. So, if we don't answer a question, it'll probably be answered on there as well. What other effects should we go with? Where is it color lookup? Is that the one I'm looking for? That is not what I'm looking for. Oops. It's processing. Tone mapping? I think I'm looking for tone mapping. Alright, so I'm gonna just run for a cinematic effect. So this basically impacts how, the levels and curves of your scene work. So typically ACES is the most popular one, typically used in like major media. Normally like cinematics or like movies, television, video games are now using that mode of tone mapping. So probably want some color code. No, I'm looking for the exposure thing. Unity updates systems quite often, so I'm not the most familiar with the new layout of stuff, but I know how it works. Okay, so right now it's too dark after I turned on tone mapping, so I'm going to go ahead and bump up the exposure a little bit. Still a little, 1.2 maybe. Okay, and then maybe I might, normally you could do typical photo filter things like contrast, saturation. Maybe we want it to be really saturated, and maybe we want to like shift the colors a little bit, like, ooh, we're on an alien planet or a rave. But I think in this case we'll keep it just a little bit subtle. Okay, I think the contrast is okay. How does I might turn this down to like 2. Okay. Alien mountain town, yes. Okay, right now, I think it looks nice. I think the shadows might be a little bit too dark. Part of it is due to the lighting right now, and then part of it's just, it's just too dark in general for the shadows, so I'm gonna boost that up a little bit. Shadows, mid-tones, and highlights. Okay. So, could just bump them up. I might change this a little bit. It's been a little bit since I've messed with this. So this is nice. The trackball is nice because you can tint. Hold on, this thing is flipping out on me. I just want to tint it a little bit, and it's going like full yellow, and I don't know why. Let me reset it. Okay. My Unity is not happy with me right now, and I wonder if it's, yeah, all of my trackballs are just going full yellow. I don't know why. I think if I restarted my editor, oh, okay, Circuit Lord, aka Jordan, is saying it might be a Unity bug. It always just goes orange. So that's good to know. Never mind, we're not doing that. Unity says, no, you cannot do that. I think a editor restart might fix that, since that always doesn't happen to me, but good to know it's not my fault. Okay. Maybe we could do this instead. Maybe if we boost the gamma a little bit. So previously it was like this. Can't really see anything. Boosting the gamma just a little bit will let you see a little bit better. And then to compensate for that, I'll turn down the exposure just a little bit. Looking at stuff up close, the bloom is a little intense here, so I'm just gonna like turn that down. Okay, that way it's not like super hazy, but still kind of glowing. Wonder if, yeah, okay, these are just going orange. So normally what I would do is shoot for having shadows being cooler and the rest of the lighting to be a little bit warmer since it's daylight. Currently I cannot do that. So how I might fake that right now is by tinting my directional light. You'll see anything in there is tinted a little bit, so I might just tint it a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. Right, so let's find a good benchmark. So you'll see it probably on this white base, white versus a little bit tan. It also kind of brings out the dirt, you know, the dirt of the mountain floor, the town floor, which makes sense to me. Thanks for the update, Jordan. Yeah, apparently the thing where everything turns orange is a confirmed bug, so that's good. If we take a look, post-processing off, post-processing on, I think the sky might be a little washed out. So I might see what I can do about that. Maybe I'll turn this down just a little bit. Let's see if there's any cool things we can do as well in here. So since this is a VR game, you typically can't do most of these things like motion blur while you're in VR. It can make a lot of people sick, so we typically stay away from that. But there are other things we can play around with. So I can make things a lot more warmer in the scene, or a lot more cooler. Things are already pretty close to where we want them to be. Maybe if I just wanted to push it a little bit warmer, I might do that for daytime. And then for like a night scene, naturally it'd be a little bit cooler, right? I think the tint is pretty good where it's at. I might actually kick this down just a little bit. So it's like a really subtle change. I think you'll notice it in the blues a little bit more. Right now it's a little less blue. When I turn it off, it's a little more blue. I think this, in conjunction with making the light a little bit of a warmer color, helps solidify that this is like a day scene, daylight. Okay, there are other things we could do that are a little more crazy that we're probably not going to actually leave in here, like chromatic aberration, right? These are effects that you want to use pretty sparingly, but they look pretty cool. They look pretty cool, right? That's one of them. What's another one that we can mess around with? Split toning, maybe just a little bit. We'll see if this works. Okay, so this is going to let me pump up the blues a little bit and then make the highlights maybe a little bit more yellow if I wanted to. Ideally, I would be doing this in the other setting, but it's not something I can access right now. So I could pump up the blues just a little bit more in all the shadows, and then, you know, if I made it a little bit too blue, I could compensate by tinting it just a little bit, but then the shadows would still remain sort of blue. I think I'm fine without it. I very much like a less is more approach. And you know, if we on mobile VR devices, if you can't have post-processing, you know, I like the scene to look as close as possible as like the desktop version. So like with it on, with it off, the scene looks pretty much the same, but the post-processing just kind of like enhances the lighting and makes it look a little bit better. Yeah, okay, that is it for post-processing for now. Yeah, see, if I turn around, I'm like, ooh, okay, that's a little, that might be a little bright, so I'm just gonna go through and kick things down just a little bit more. So particle effects. I'm trying to remember what I called the little sprites that we have. Notes, upwards, small. So here are little floaty glowing bits that I think will work. Well, for like the little mushrooms, I think it makes sense that they're glowing mushrooms, so they should have little glowing bits as well. So let me scale them down a little bit more. Mission shape. These are starting to okay, now these are sort of spawning in this small area, which is what I want, but then they're also like floating up pretty fast when I want them to be more like a gentle little float. So I'm gonna go to force over lifetime. So turn this down just a little bit. Hold on, I want to adjust it on the y-axis, so restart my simulation. 0.5. Is this going in the wrong direction, but why is this going in the wrong direction? Do I have gravity on, maybe? Gravity modifier. There we go. Gravity's just weighing us down, man. So 0.25. So this is adjusting the force over lifetime between the different axes. So red is X, Z is blue, Y is up. So I don't want it to just spawn in a straight line, right? So you add sort of like variation between each direction on where it sort of moves to. So if I made these both 0, you would see it sort of just goes in a straight line. And then if I made this 0.1 also, it would just keep going straight in the same direction with the same amount of force. So, I mean, I think it looks okay, but, you know, since we can add a little bit of variation, why not? Make it a little bit more interesting. I might tone this down just a little bit. Same with this. Since it's such a small sprite, it doesn't really need to be that different, but you'll see it's like a little bit of a little tiny baby wave. Color on this to be a little bit closer to the orange of the mushrooms. Very cool. I'd like to thank Jordan being MVP, answering questions in chat. Thank you. Scale this guy up. Maybe these little glowing spike traps also have just a little bit of particles as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So emission, so I want maybe fewer particles, just a couple. And then I'll turn these back to be blue. There we go. So if I grab these two at the same time. Just a little bit of movement in the scene, which is pretty cool. Yeah, let's see what else would be a good candidate. I think that's it for now, but maybe we'll do some like ambient particle effects. So maybe in the backdrop you can add some smoke. Maybe there's like more industrial stuff back here happening, or maybe one of the houses has like a chimney or something. Or something. So maybe we'll add some smoke around, make it a little more lived in. Put one in sort of like the distant. I don't want to make it too smoky, but yeah, that's a little too much. But what isn't too much are some god rays. What did I call them? Light beams? Okay. Alright, so if I go into my game view, I'm just going to stage something for the stream so we have something cool to look at when this is all done. that's, that's a little much, so we'll just go with this more desaturated one. So that's the game view. If we go into the scene view, you can see it with the post-process effects. So that looks pretty cool. Alright. So I think I'm going to see what other effects I can add to the scene. If anyone has any other sort of questions, anything they'd like to see in the scene as well, I think I'll be wrapping up the stream shortly. I'm just gonna go ahead and add a few more glowing bits and stuff like that around. Cube. What's in the cube? Stay tuned and you guys will find out what's in this giant cube. I really wish I could show you, but you know, there's plenty more secrets to the mountain town for you guys to find out, as well as the mountain zone in general. Like, you guys are just seeing the town. Think about what's like outside of the town. Lots of cool stuff. Simulation speed. Let's just slow this down like this. Okay. Yeah, cliffhanger. So, wish I could turn off viewing that. This is where the scene is at right now. I think earlier when we started off, it was closer to... Let's grab everything so I can disable it. Everything was closer to like this. Let me... Blaine was hanging out around nothing, but you know, this is where we started. This is where we are today now in the scene, after about an hour and a half worth of work in this little mountain town. You know, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the cubes. Stay tuned for more cube action. Yeah, as always, if you guys have any other questions or just want to hang out with us, join the Discord. We have a lot of answers there, and we'll answer new stuff and show new stuff. And subscribe for more live streams, more other updates from the teams, from Andy and Lauren post their monthly updates on the YouTubes. So yeah, thank you all for joining us. Cube is life. T-pose forever. Thank you. Goodbye.